Working on a 2003 Ford Super Duty F250, and I'm going to do the back brakes, parking brake, rotors, and I'll probably do calipers, but calipers are so easy to do anytime that I might do them later. These shields go behind the parking brake are, well, I bought them assembled with the new brake shoes and everything in them. The reason why is because over here, let me scoot over here to this side. There's a brake shoe on that one. It's obviously in pieces. The shield is gone. These studs are rusty. They might come out, they might not. Doesn't matter. If they don't come off, I'll burn them off. The new ones come with new studs. And these were not that expensive either. They're well, they're a Dorman product, if I recall. Yes, it's Dorman. And one side, they are different. Left side and right side, they're just opposite each other. I don't know, one side was like 113, the other side was like 140 something, 150. I'm not sure which side was which. I don't care. Just getting them all at the same time. Now I had to do this on my other Ford dually. Well, this one's not a dually, but on the dually, same year, I had to do it on that one, and I had to change bearings and stuff as well. Hopefully we don't have to do that here, but I might have to. Anyway, got everything sprayed down, took the wheels off, sprayed all of these. Gonna take these nuts off. Well, first I'm gonna take the caliper off, and then we'll take the rotors off. And I don't remember if I can get these off with the hubs in there or not. That might be why I had to do bearings. Maybe I had to take the hubs off to get these plates. I don't remember. We'll see. Now, first thing I'm going to do, the light is not in such a way we can see inside there, but I happen to have a little small pry bar that doesn't quite fit in there to get between the brake shoes and the rotor, but I can push against the rotor itself and pry that over this way. Since the wheels are off, it will give me some room to pry loose, just to loosen up the calipers a little bit. That's good. It'll move. It'll come off of there now. See, this caliper was shot. I mean, rotor was shot. See how it's worn awful thin there on that side. So anyway, well, the truck sat for a few years. I bought it used. Wasn't running. It is now, but got a little ways to go. So I got 14mm bolts, one here, one up here. Take the rotor or calipers off. Now I had to go ahead and get a thick screwdriver. I couldn't get the caliper off. I had to stick this in one of these holes in here, but stick it through this and just pry like that. It'll come off of there. Don't tell anybody I let that hang by the brake line. I usually do that. I don't like to let it drop and swing, but I'm not afraid to let it hang by the brake line. I've never had a problem with that. But somebody's put new brake shoes on it just like it was, but the rotor shot. Go ahead and knock all that off of there. I'm going to take this piece of the rotor off too. It's bolted on back here. Two big bolts because we're taking all of this off. You got to take that off to get the rotor off. Forgot to put a little spray in here. All of these. Because the rotor is kind of tight. Well, it's stuck. I see why. Got corrosion. It's even got a radius. There's a piece of it knocked out of there in front of my finger there, and we need to get all of that off all the way around. So I'm going to bring something else. I had this great big long pry bar down here, and I was prying against this thing that mounts the caliper. And all I'm doing is breaking the rotor off, prying the rotor against this. So I may have to bring the torch out here and heat it up to get it off. Okay, we got a little bit of sunlight on there. I'm going around this with a chisel and a hammer, working my way all the way around. It's working pretty quick and easy, and I'm gonna do that all the way around, get that radius off of there of corrosion. But I can still turn this just by putting bar in here. It'll turn. And of course the wheel on the other side is turning the opposite way because it's in park. Well, about 15 minutes later I got it to break loose. I took a hammer and a chisel, went around, knocked that radius off, and then I took this mini screwdriver and cut inside there as much as I could all the way around, put some more spray on it, and then I started beating it with that, whatever that is, 2 pound, 3 pound hammer there. Started beating it around this, on this, and that's just me. Yeah, I hit the threads on that. I'm just not that accurate with stuff like that, but I'll have to fix that before I put that stud or that nut back on there. But it's broke loose now. It can't really prove it with one hand, but it is. Now this is the mess we got in here. It's all in pieces, and I do have to take this hub off. Got to take the axle out and then pull the hub off to be able to get that unit down there, get this off and put that new one on. So I'll just work on getting the other side freed up for now because it's going to be dark in less than an hour. I got these 4 big bolts off the back here. Let's see what size was that. 24. And then it's still in there. I'm not trying to break that loose yet because I got to take this axle off. Got this cable off. I'm changing the cables too. And the way I did that was, first I pulled on this. I just pulled it towards the back, and of course the pedal has to be released and up on the inside, and then I unhooked these off of it while I was pulling it back because there's a spring up there. It's unhook these. This one is still down here. It's going to go through this hole, and this little plastic ring goes, once this is in and on this side of the hole, then this little plastic ring goes on there. I had to turn it until I found the opening on it and pick that out with a seal pick like this, or any kind of pointed pick, a little miniature screwdriver or whatever. Get those, there's 2 of them, get those off. This one goes to the other side. It's still hanging here because I'm not working on that side yet. What else did I do? It's been a couple days. I forgot what I did because I had to go back to my regular job for a couple days, and this has just been sitting here waiting on me to get back to it. So I got these axle bolts out, and that's for these. Got an oil pan down here, and I just now pulled these bolts out. So I'm going to tap this with a hammer and pull my axle out. And for people that don't know how to do that, you just pull it out. It comes right out. It just plugs in with splines on it into a gear inside the differential. And so anyway, we'll pull that thing out, and then I'll inspect the bearings. I got to take the bearings out so I can get the hub off. And then we'll inspect the bearings inside there. I'm going to take an extension and put it in here. Yeah, that's a wobble extension from Harbor Freight. Very handy, you got to have those. They come all different sizes. Anyway, I'm going to tap that with this so I don't hit the threads on that. And that should just knock that seal loose and it should come right out. Okay, that's why I put the oil pan down there. Just pull this thing on out of here and then we'll get that off. I gotta go and get a special tool. It's in my other shop. I gotta go get it. I forgot about that. It's for this, take this this lock nut off of the bearing there. Well, one good sign is this oil looks very, very, very transparent. That's nice sign. Maybe they changed that oil not too long ago. But I got to take these bearings off of here, and I got to use this special tool. I don't know what it cost. I bought it on Amazon. When you're buying seals and stuff for this job, these brake shields, all this stuff, this tool will show up on there on Amazon, and it's got these 4 little pins on there that line up with holes. On that bearing, it's kind of a ratchet type of thing. I'm going to put this in there and break that loose. I need 2 hands. I don't have a tripod out here yet. Well, when I went to break it loose, it actually made maybe half a turn, and then it got tight, and so turned it the other direction, realized that this is a left-hand thread on this side. Okay, I got that ratcheting nut off of there, and now I'm going to just kind of, this is loose, so I can kind of pull on it carefully and see if we can pull that bearing out. If not, maybe get a magnet, pull it out of there. I don't want the bearing to fall. I need 2 hands to do that, but there's my bearing in there. I gotta wiggle this thing around and get that bearing out of there. Looks very good. The outer bearing is in nice shape. Normally, if the outer bearing is good, the inner is also, unless somebody changed the outer and didn't change the inner. That's always a possibility. But I'm going to need 2 hands to yank this hub off of there, because the seal is going to be a little bit tight on the axle housing. That seal was on there very tight. I had to beat it off with a hammer, beat the hub off from the back side with a hammer, and the seal is coming apart in pieces. Some of it's still on here. We'll get to this part after we take this nasty rusty thing off of here. This part here is still dripping a little bit because there's oil that stays inside there. When it's in this position, there's like a pool of oil on the inside that'll dump out when you put it like this. I'm going to put this on the wheel. That's what I do on big trucks. I'll put that seal, or this hub, when it's done dripping. I'm going to put it on there, and I might stick 1 or 2 nuts behind it, and then I'm going to pry the seal out with a bar. Well, got that thing off of there. Just tapped it with a hammer and it came right off. Time to start cleaning this up and then get this seal off of here. This whatever you call this thing that the seal rides on. I'm going to tap that with a punch and a hammer, and not a sharp punch, just a blunt one, to flatten this out in a few places, and that'll make it expand so that it'll come off of there. It's more important to get this flat surface around here all the way around. Make sure there's no chunks of rust or anything sticking up out of that, because you want your backing plate for those parking brakes to be flat flush against this flange. You don't want it sitting high on one side. It's going to throw everything out balance a little bit. Your brake shoes might be rubbing on the inside of the drum on one side. So make sure this is all clean. I'm just getting this chunky rust off of here because I want to. And then can't see what's on this viewfinder out here in the sun. Okay. I'm going to use this extension like a punch, and I'm going to start hitting this in a few places, because this is a pressed ring as part of a seal, and I'm going to take that off of there, and I'm going to start hitting that, flattening it out and making it don't hit it hard enough to dent the housing. Try not to do that. Just out here on the outside of this in a few places. And that should make that thing swell up enough where you can just pick it off of there easier. That baby's on there tight. Now, I gotta clean all this off of here. A lot of crusty rust on there. It's built up pretty thick. Well, I'm gonna get that off and get this polished up and ready to put the new seal on it. Good thing is the new seal, or this one, if it's one like this, it's rubber inside here, and that rubber on the inside will seal against this, and then the actual seal that rotates will rotate around this ring here. I got this one ready to put that brake backing plate on, and I don't have the seals yet, but when they get here I can put them on, because this is all cleaned up as good as it's going to get all the way around, and as long as the seal can be pressed back to flush, well, we'll record putting it on when it gets here. I'm going to pop this seal out of this one. We had a storm blow through here, and it was raining sideways pretty hard, so everything's wet. But here we go. And that's all there is to that. We got to clean this up a little bit, just around the outer edges here, and then and we'll put the new, clean the bearing. We got to dry this one out because it got wet, and then put the bearing back in there, and then the new seal. This is the seal kit I picked up on Amazon. I don't know if it's good or not. I'm going to try it out. It was around $55–60 with taxes, and so the seal's got a rubber lip on the inside. It seals against the axle housing, and then the seal kind of rides against itself. One like this, and this part seals in the hub. And then it comes with both sides, and the O-ring that goes on the axle shaft. The axle shaft, instead of having a seal, a gasket, it has an O-ring seal on it. So I'm going to go on ahead and get ready to put this on. So I'm going to put some oil on this bearing and drop it in there. We had water in there, so I had to dry it out a little bit. Well, I don't have a bearing installer this size, or a seal installer that size, so I'm going to just put the oil on the bearing. It's got just about 1/4 of a cap full of oil here. I'm going to go ahead and put dab oil on this seal so that it'll go in. I dropped it, fell down here. I wouldn't think I should be able to just push that in, but I did. I hope it doesn't leak, because I was going to use this block of wood and I was going to knock it down in there with that, but it went in. I hope it's tight enough. And then this one goes on the axle. I pulled that seal back off because I forgot to put this little ring in there. I haven't done this on this particular vehicle before, and I didn't know it had that ring in it, and I forgot about it. I forgot to show tightening the bearing on this hub, but put the same socket on there that I took it off with, and then I just tightened it down all the way down until it was tight, not super tight. I don't know, 20, 30 foot-pounds maybe, and then backed it off, snugged it down a little bit more again, one more time, and then I backed it off less than a 1/4 turn, and then I shook the hub to make sure that I don't feel any play in it and that it spins freely. And so I also decided to put just a little bit of silicone around the outer edge here. It's got a seal on it. Got this O-ring seal on here, but just in case, since this is an aftermarket, a cheap kit, it might not be the right size seal. Just in case the seal's not good, we should have a good seal with the silicone. So I'm going to go ahead and shove this axle shaft in there and spin it around a couple of times until the teeth find their way home. the gears inside there, and then line up the bolt holes and go on ahead and start putting it back together.